Brian from the Disability Digest here. This video is a step-by-step guide to successfully applying for your Social Security disability benefits online. I will cover what you need for your application and details about what to say to Social Security, including how to prepare a short, concise statement communicating that you qualify for disability. So before you get started, if you'll look at my screen, you'll see this is the application page that Social Security provides online. And there's two buttons at the very bottom: start a new application. Hopefully you can see those. I'll pull this down a little bit. Start a new application and return to a saved application. So once you start it, and if you don't complete everything at once, you're provided a re-entry number, and you can come back and re-enter that number and complete your application. So, or if you have a disability attorney or non-attorney representative or somebody else that's helping you and they're entering information on your behalf, you can then go in and review it. So that's one of the nice features about the online system. Before you get started, I encourage you to make yourself aware, whoops, that's not what I wanted to show you, of all of the information that you're going to need. And below this video I will include links to this and other resources. But this is what you need to know, and the majority of the information is about your doctors, your medication, your work history. You'll also need information about a third-party person that can be contacted. If you have children under 18, you'll need to be providing that information. But it's all in this document. Take the time to do it. It's easier to have all of the information available and then submit it all in the application at once. That's just my opinion. There's other related videos, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, that show you how to manage your case related information, how to store it securely so that you can conveniently access it. So that's it. So let's get started. What I have done is I have set up an example, case example, and I've filled in the data for to speed up the process. So we've gone through the identification tab, which has my information in it. I entered it in here, but if you're doing this on your own, you would enter your information. If the preparer is an attorney or non-attorney, then they would be entering that information in there. So the next tab is the medical, and before I get into the medical details, I want to explain that once you complete the medical, you can then advance to the work and education and remarks section, but the medical, if it's not completed, will not allow you to advance beyond the other steps. So it's important to list all of your conditions, and there's room for 10 here, and commonly people will put their primary conditions if they're doing this on their own, and they'll leave out other subtle conditions that are possibly being treated, like maybe you have depression and you're taking medication for it, but you don't consider it to be significant and you don't list it. It's really important to list it. So list all of your conditions here. And then there is your height and your weight and your treatment, like what are you being treated for. So that part's pretty simple of listing your conditions, and we'll go on by clicking the blue button on the bottom, which I don't believe you're able to see. There's a next button on the bottom. I'll pull it down and show you. Right there, there's a next button on all these pages. So here they're asking for somebody that knows you, that they could ask for a third-party opinion. It could be a spouse, it could be a friend, a co-worker, somebody that you've worked with that has noticed perhaps a decline in your ability to perform or be on task. And then language-related questions. What's your preferred language? And then down at the bottom, after we complete this section, I'm going to select next. So my hopes for this video is that it will help you understand just how easy it is to submit the information. A lot of people are intimidated and they just don't even know what's inside the application process. So if they did, which you will now know, it would make it easier. So now we're going to go on to the doctors. And I have Dr. Dan Feelgood entered in here. And of course, that's an example. And his name is in the street, and that's straightforward information. But I'm going to spend a few moments on the treatment part here. For each doctor, it's really important to get your treatment dates correct and to show the first date of treatment, the last date, and the next date. And this will provide a historical picture to Social Security of how long you've had a condition or conditions and how long they've been being treated for. The premise of a disability case and getting approved is that you have conditions, they're being treated by a doctor, and the limitations from those conditions prevent you from working. So getting these dates right is an important factor in helping Social Security understand that. The next part is tests that you have. I selected no, but I'm just going to change this to yes for an example. It will ask you the kind of tests that you've had, breathing, cardio, ENG, EKG, all kinds of different tests. The tests that you had and when you had it. And so there's room for several in there, and it's important to put that because that will show like what has been attempted to be done to address this condition or conditions that you have. And then the next important piece is your medication. So list the medications and what the medications are for. Like I just put aspirin for pain relief as an example, but if you're taking high blood pressure medicine or you're taking medicine for chronic pain, you want to list the medication and what it is for, to help again Social Security understand that you have these conditions and you are taking medications to make them better. And the type of treatment that you're having with this doctor, are they regular examinations? Are they progress treatments? And there's a list of different options here so that you can explain what is being done in this. One of the things that we enter in here when we do these cases on our own for individuals is we communicate what the doctor is working on and the steps that are being taken and why they're being taken. So if the doctor is working on trying to reduce chronic pain, then there's periodic treatments with medication and physical therapy with an effort to reduce chronic pain so this individual can sit and stand longer than they are able to now, which is maybe 2 hours a day that they can sit and 2 hours a day that they can stand. So an example like that of providing that detail, again, because you are trying to prove that you have conditions that are being treated with limitations, and you're not able to work. Okay, so that completes the medical section. So it was the doctors and the treatment dates, the tests, and what's going on in the office visits. We're going to go now to the next section, which is the work and education section. And there's 3 options here that you can choose from: no, never worked, stopped working, and is currently working. And to apply for disability benefits, you need to be out of work. Well, you need to be working and earning less than, at the time of this video, $1,220 a month. On the work section, there's two key criteria in here. One is the date that you stopped working, which is the one on the top here, when you stopped working, and why you stopped working, because of the condition is the option that I put. If it's because of other reasons, I don't know, I don't have any clear examples for this video what it is, because it's commonly people stop working because of their condition. They're just not able to do it anymore. So the next key date down here is when did she make changes? So what this is asking and trying to find out is, were there any reasonable accommodations that were made on the job, and those accommodations may have been so significant that the person actually was disabled at that time. So in this example, I put June 1st, 2019 as the date that the changes were made, but actually didn't stop working until December 1st, 2019. So for 6 months, there was an effort to, make some accommodations at work. That's the point that this is showing here. So if that has happened to you, make sure that you put those dates in. And those reasonable accommodations could be a desk, a different desk, a different office with less noise. It could be adjustments in your work schedule, where you are allowed to come in later and leave earlier, take a longer lunch, have shorter work week, things like that may have been efforts to keep you on the job for a longer period of time. Okay, and so here in this next section, we're going to go down, and the job listing is important. So for the example I'm using here, as I'm using a truck driver, somebody that drove for Amazon, and they did it from August of 2004 to December of 2019, and worked 9 hours a day, 5 days a week at $25 an hour. So that's the job number one. If you have, you can select how many jobs you had. If you've had several jobs over the last 15 years, then you want to choose 2, 3, 4, so you can enter each job and provide the same type of information for each job. So the dates are important for sure, but in our experience, what is also important is what you did for work. So the example I use here is this individual drove over the road. So over the road means that you do long haul drives. It's not something where you're going to drive 1 or 2 towns over and then you're home that night. It's usually an over the road trucker or somebody who might do a cross country haul. And so for the requirements for that is sitting 7 hours a day, and then standing 2 hours a day. Needs to lift 50 pounds sometimes, but 30 pounds frequently. So those are the requirements of what needs to be done. You need to be in the truck, and you need to take stuff on and off the truck. Sometimes it's 50 pounds, but most commonly it's 30 pounds. And so for your own job requirement, you want to make sure that, in my opinion, that you list those features, the sit stand time, the lifting requirements that you have. And then there's other specific questions about the job that help Social Security better understand the work that you did and the requirements that you had when you were doing the job. So some of these are using tools, equipments. Did you use technical knowledge and skills, writing, completing reports, Did you walk? Did you stand? Did you sit? Did you climb? Did you bend? Did you stoop? Did you kneel? Any of those. And then they ask for the amount of time that you did these tasks over on the right hand side. These are drop downs. Did you reach? Did you report? Did you manage others? So and then please describe what you lifted, how far you carried things. And so lifted packages over 50 pounds on or off a forklift, out of the trailer. So that's the example that I used. So that gives you hopefully an understanding of the work that you did. One tip on this is this information will be asked to you again. You're going to submit it here. In a few weeks you're going to get a daily living questionnaire, and you're also going to receive a work history report. And Social Security credibility is really important to getting your case approved, so you want to make sure that your answers are consistent. So I'd follow some of the other videos that we have about where to store your information. Make sure that what you put in here is the exact information that goes on the other reports, and it will also be a little less annoying if you have it somewhere else. You don't have to recreate it and find it. So just a time-saving tip there. Alright, so now I'm going to go on to the next. This is the education piece of the application, what you did for education. Did you have any additional training that you took, courses, maybe night courses that you took, or certifications for your profession that would exemplify that you did some continuing learning, and the date that they were completed. And again, another language related question. Okay, in this section here, this is the last section. This is a key tip, like an insider tip that we have found that makes a significant difference in getting a case approved. So what the remarks section is used for is to provide a short, concise statement that explains why you feel that you are disabled. And I'm going to put in here an example that I have prepared for this. And this might be difficult to review because it's in small print, so I'm going to, one, read it, and then two, I will put it below the video for you. So call this a case theory, and when this work is done by us here at the Disability Digest, we look at the medical records, how long the member's been treated, we look at the work history, and we build the story. So for you, if you don't have your medical records, you might want to take a look at those so you can kind of build this story and tell it to Social Security. So you have 2,000 characters to do it, and a couple good paragraphs usually do the trick. So here we go. So first is, I'll read it and then I'll come back and I'll hit some of the key points. I'm a 52-year-old with over 15 years of job experience as an over-the-road truck driver. I have not been able to work since December 1st, 2019 because of arthritis and depression. My arthritis causes physical restrictions of not being able to sit or stand for more than 30 minutes, and I'm unable to lift objects frequently of any more than 30 pounds. And my depression causes me prolonged feeling of worthlessness and not being of any value to my family or my company, and as a result I am bedridden for more than 2 days at a time, at least twice a month. Despite working with my doctors consistently since December 1st, 2015, I'm not able to work on my job or any job on a regular basis. So I'm going to recap here. Age work experience, that you've not been able to work, and include that date, which is the date that we went through in your application, and what conditions you have that you're being treated for. And those conditions are in your medical records when you look at what your doctor is treating you for and the medications that you're taking, and the limitations. And for the limitations, if your doctor has put any specific noted limitations in your medical records that you can put into your case theory, that would be ideal, because that's what Social Security is going to look at for evidence. And if they say, oh, geez, I understand that you're not able to sit and stand for more than 30 minutes because of your arthritis, then and that's in the medical records, and you put it in the case theory, it connects the dots. And also for the depression, if it's documented by the treating physician for the depression that this is causing days, 2 or more days at a time, where this individual is just bedridden, then it's going to make it very easy for Social Security to see that this person is not able to work a job. So those are some of the tips. I am excuse me, I'm in hopes that this, well, it's not short, it's a 21-minute video, will give you an understanding of what you need to do and really how you can piece all of the information together to have a successful application. There is a lot more that we provide here at the Disability Digest. We have a complete disability approval course that provides supporting information for this. There's a lot of other things that you'll need to know, like how to get doctor support, how to fill out the forms, and lots of success stories and tips that others have shared with us. So if you're not a member here, come on in, look at the link below, get a free membership, and we'll provide you with the other information. Now, if you are watching this video and you've already applied and you have not submitted a case theory, you can go forward and do that. Build it, send it in as additional evidence, and just a simple one-page statement to Social Security. And if you have applied and you're at the later stages, you should really understand what your case theory is, like what your story is and how it's being built. If you're using a disability representative, then ask them, just say, you know, this is, I want to know if you've had this prepared, if you put something into Social Security. So when a case goes to a hearing, the attorney should write a brief, which is more extensive than this. This is like a mini brief to have prepared. So it's common. It's not something that's unique. So at any rate, I hope you find this helpful. I would love to hear your feedback. Ideally, if you get approved, love to hear those stories, or if you have anything, questions that have come up as a result of this, just join us in the comments below. This has been Brian from the Disability Digest. Make it a great day.